Hello everyone and welcome to my General Hospital Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. According to General Hospital spoilers for the upcoming 2 weeks, from February 24th to March 7th, Sonny Corinthos will receive an enemy warning and Nina Reeves will attack Drew Quartermaine. Let's discuss what is ahead, as Carly Spencer will also be shaken by the drama involving Jack Brennan and Jocelyn Jacks. The week of February 24th to 28th is when Trina Robinson will suspect Jocelyn of concealing something. Jocelyn will pretend to get Trina to talk about Kai Taylor, but she won't be able to hide her nervousness after all the drama surrounding Cyrus Renaud. Later on, Trina and Kai would experience a passionate time together. Will GH continue to generate suspense, or will Trina and Kai share a kiss? Ava Jerome will then have an unexpected guest. Given that she would essentially attempt to make Ava's life a misery in the upcoming episodes, our predictions suggest that it might be Christina Corinthos Davis. Alexis Davis will deliver a request to someone after Dante Falconeri gives her an update on the most recent Cyrus developments. Alexis might conduct some independent research to see whether Jason Morgan caused Cyrus to permanently disappear. Jason will be the next person at the heart of the police inquiry, and Anna Devane will have some questions for him as well. If there is evidence that was fabricated to implicate Jason, Brennan might share some of the blame. Brennan might ruin his developing relationship with Carly, so he'll be playing with fire. While Jason finds himself in a legal bind, Jocelyn will have to make a choice that will change her life. If Brennan keeps Jason out of jail, will Jocelyn make a bargain to join the WSB or confess to the police? In any case, Carly will be shaken by some very important news in the upcoming episodes. Carly won't like the upcoming disclosure since she will eventually understand Jocelyn is involved with Brennan. There will be a furious dispute between them because Nina will surprise Drew at his new residence. Although Drew would pressure Nina to leave, is it possible that she will bug his house while she is there? In any case, Nina is determined to keep Drew and Willow Corinthos apart. Regarding Tracy Quartermaine, she is poised to challenge Drew and incite further hostilities. Additionally, Molly Lansing Davis will confide in Cody Bell, allowing them to continue their romantic endeavors. Jordan Ashford and Isaiah Gannon might continue their romance, but he will still be troubled by her risky Jen Sidwell scheme. Brooke Lynn Quartermaine will be shocked by Harrison Chase's suggestion. Since Lois Cerullo is certain it's Giovanni Gio Palmieri, she will undoubtedly go crazy if this turns out to be a plan to find Brooke Lynn's long-lost child. Dante may learn that Brooke Lynn became pregnant as a teenager and placed her child for adoption, as Chase will also be forthcoming with him. Will Dante start to suspect that Brooke Lynn had his child without telling him? In any event, Lulu Spencer will have her own suspicions and might be the one to solve this case. We might witness Lulu eavesdropping as she begins to follow hints. Sonny will receive a warning somewhere else. Will that have to do with Sonny's condition or maybe the brewing chaos in Sidwell? Given that Sidwell is obviously pursuing the mob boss, Sonny might be aware of the escalating danger and respond appropriately. The secret of Natalia Ramirez might be made public during the week of March 3rd to 7th. Will Natalia tell Sonny that her ex-husband, Sidwell, is dangerous? Additionally, Sidwell is aware of Sasha Gilmore Corbin's pregnancy. Thus, depending on the plans he implements, he may pose a risk to her unborn child. Last but not least, if Brooke Lynn formally begins looking into her firstborn, Lois might find herself in a panic. To what extent will Lois try to thwart the search and hide the truth? According to General Hospital spoilers, there will be a lot of Port Charles action over the coming 2 weeks, so tune in. According to General Hospital teasers, Drew Quartermaine might decline to serve as Jason Morgan's alibi. Would Drew fabricate Jason's home visit in the hopes that it would result in his apprehension as part of the Cyrus Renaud probe? Fans of GH are aware that Drew threw Jason out after completely rejecting his attempt at a truce. Given how self-centered Drew has gotten in recent months, it wasn't shocking. In keeping with that premise, the program might have Drew use deceit with a cunning plan. Since Drew has stated that he intends to eliminate Jason and Sonny Corinthos, this would be a perfect fit for his strategy. We should think about a daring action Drew might do because Jason just told Tracy Quartermaine that he was on his way. When Jocelyn Jacks killed Cyrus in the cabin, Jack Brennan demanded that it be cleaned up. Brennan did, however, allude to one exception, and we are aware that Jason will feel confined during the week of February 24th to 28th. Jason might be positioned to take the fall in this situation. In any case, Anna Devane will undoubtedly wonder where Jason was the night Cyrus disappeared. Jason will undoubtedly bring up the fact that he was seeing Drew in an attempt to promote peace. At that point, Anna might ask Drew if he can support Jason's assertions. Will Drew be dishonest and decline to serve as Jason's alibi? We could definitely see Drew claiming Jason never visited his house in the hopes that this would be sufficient to discredit his despised sibling. Even if Drew acknowledges that Jason visited his home, he may contend that Jason had time to murder Cyrus either before or after the visit. Drew may level some charges and pretend that Jason's visit was a cover-up. However, it would be more heinous of Drew to simply state that he didn't see Jason that evening. Drew may act as though Jason is lying in order to exacerbate his twins' impending issues. In any event, our forecast suggests that Anna's inquiry may become complicated. There may be unsettling news for Jason if further evidence emerges linking Jason to Cyrus' death. According to General Hospital teasers, Jason might face some legal turmoil in the future. We'll keep you informed about the impending problem. Hospital General: can Harrison Chase and Dante Falconeri maintain their bromance when the past collides with the present? Spoilers are messing things up with a tasty twist that has us all on edge. Chase just opened up to Dante about the devastating blow he and Brooklyn Quartermain have been going through. Infertility problems that ultimately come down to Chase's sterility. Although Dante acted as the helpful friend that we all know he is capable of being, a tempest is brewing that none of these men anticipates. Betrayals, secrets, and a child stashed away? There's going to be some major upheaval in this friendship. General Hospital spoilers: heartbreak is on the way for Chase. Chase's candid admission that he is the reason he and Brooklyn are unable to have children was a powerful moment for Dante. Dante was there, offering a strong shoulder to support the man who has been struggling with remorse and feeling as though he let his wife down on his own. Chase even praised him, appreciating a friend who didn't pass judgment or make vain attempts to correct it. These two have a bond that has made them a popular pair on the PCPD force. But how the roles are about to be reversed. Chase doesn't know that Dante has a secret relationship with Brooklyn that goes beyond a brief liaison. This type of secret has the potential to destroy everything Chase values. Spoilers reveal the dirty little secret of Dante and Brooklyn. This is where things get messy. Dante and Brooklyn dated for years, but neither of them ever told Chase or anybody else about it. We're talking about the time before Chase, when Dante was just Dante, charming his way through summer camp, while Brooklyn was still sorting out her hectic existence. One night had repercussions that neither of them anticipated. Brooklyn became the mother of Dante's child. Back then it was not an option to reveal anything, so she kept the entire pregnancy, birth, and adoption a secret. Since Brooklyn has sealed off that chapter, Dante is still unaware that he is a teenage baby daddy. However, he blurted it out in an effort to absolve Chase of the guilt that he believed he had denied Brooklyn the opportunity to become pregnant and give birth to her own kid. When Chase finds out that his best friend had an affair with his wife and that they had a child together, how would he feel? It's an experience he will never be able to provide her. Who will reveal the secret in General Hospital spoilers? Will adoption records that link Dante and Brooklyn in a way no one anticipated be discovered by an inquisitive Port Charles citizen, such as private investigator Elaine Stevens? Or while Lois Cerullo bites her fingernails over the whole situation, may Brooklyn hire her to find her child? As a stand-up comedian, Chase might overlook a previous relationship, but learning that Dante is the father of a child that Brooklyn gave up while he's dealing with his own infertility, he might not be able to bounce back from that stomach punch. What about Dante? Will he try to keep his friendship with Chase intact, or will he turn on Brooklyn for keeping it quiet if he finds out he has a child? Everyone is asking the same thing according to General Hospital spoilers. What is happening with this lucky recast? For all the information you require, continue reading below. Spoilers. What's happening with this fortunate recast? Jonathan Jackson's most well-known character is that of Lucky Spencer, as many of our readers are already aware. However, Guy Wilson, his replacement, has temporarily changed his image. But it appears that many people are simply unhappy because Guy is currently portraying Jonathan in a crucial scene that should have Jonathan instead. Naturally, both critics and admirers are looking for explanations. Needless to say, a lot of General Hospital viewers have expressed their opinions on social media. It's extremely doubtful that JJ will be freed anytime soon because he signed a multi-year contract in 2024 when he returned, according to some comments. It's likely that throughout his discussions, he had an approved prior commitment that needed to be cleared up. We need the character of Lucky right now because it is heavily storyline driven, remarked another critic. To be honest though, I wouldn't mind at all if they permanently recast the role. Even more so now, I've never liked JJ and never thought he was a very good actor. Whatever is on his face and his dirty head of hair appear ugly and awful. Additionally, he and Liz appear absurd together. General Hospital spoilers. Lucky's future? Additionally, this comment was made. I don't like this version of JJ. Unfortunately, Elizabeth was unable to assist the writers in any way during Lucky and Cyrus's altercation. She dialed 911. Is that all? Why didn't she seize that lamp and strike Cyrus in the head with it? Or engage in the actual physical altercation? I know Cyrus had to get away, but Elizabeth had other options besides talking on the phone. Friendships in soap operas are often just as compelling as romantic relationships and rivalries. One such bond that has captivated General Hospital fans is the friendship between Harrison Chase and Dante Falconeri. Their connection is built on trust, shared experiences, and mutual respect. However, with recent developments in Port Charles, many are wondering, can Chase and Dante's friendship weather what comes next? A brotherhood forged in trust. Chase and Dante first became close due to their shared careers in law enforcement. As police officers, they have relied on each other in high-stakes situations, from taking down criminals to protecting their loved ones. Dante, being the more experienced of the two, initially served as a mentor figure to Chase. Over time, their bond grew beyond that of just colleagues, evolving into a genuine friendship built on mutual support and understanding. Despite working in an environment that often tests moral boundaries, Chase and Dante have remained loyal to their principles and to each other. When Chase faced professional setbacks, including suspensions and false accusations, Dante was one of the few people who consistently had his back. Likewise, when Dante struggled with personal demons after returning to Port Charles, Chase stood by him, offering unwavering support. Professional conflicts. A test of loyalty. While their friendship has endured numerous trials, upcoming challenges could put their bond to the test in unprecedented ways. One major issue looming over them is their roles within the Port Charles Police Department. If they find themselves on opposite sides of an investigation, or if departmental politics interfere with their partnership, it could create a rift between them. Both Chase and Dante are men of integrity, but they also have strong convictions. If their moral compasses ever point in different directions, especially concerning a high-profile case, it could lead to tension. Chase, who has always strived to do things by the book, may not always see eye to eye with Dante, who occasionally bends the rules for the greater good. If either of them is forced to choose between their career and their friendship, the outcome could be devastating. Personal struggles. An emotional divide. Beyond professional hurdles, personal struggles could also strain their friendship. Chase's recent romantic entanglements, including his relationship with Brooklyn Quartermain, have been filled with ups and downs. If his personal life takes another unexpected turn, it might affect his ability to maintain his friendship with Dante. Meanwhile, Dante's relationship with Sam McCall is solid, but his past with Lulu Spencer still casts a shadow. If Lulu were to return to Port Charles, it could stir up unresolved feelings for Dante, causing turmoil that might spill over into his friendship with Chase. Given that Chase is someone who values stability, seeing Dante in emotional turmoil might make it difficult for him to offer support in the way Dante needs. Outside influence, enemies and allies. Another significant factor in whether Chase and Dante's friendship can endure is the presence of outside influences. Port Charles is full of people who could manipulate, deceive, or pressure them into making choices that conflict with their bond. For example, Sonny Corinthos, Dante's father, often operates in a moral gray area. If Sonny were to become involved in a situation that forced Dante to take sides, Chase might find himself questioning where Dante's true loyalties lie. Nina ambushes drew Sonny's enemy warning. Carly rattled over Brennan and Jocelyn. The sun was setting over Port Charles, casting long shadows across the bustling streets. The city, as always, was alive with secrets, betrayals, and simmering tensions. At Kelly's diner, the usual crowd was gathered, but the atmosphere was anything but ordinary. Nina Reeves sat in a corner booth, her fingers nervously tapping against the rim of her coffee cup. Her mind was racing, her heart pounding with a mix of anxiety and determination. She had been waiting for this moment for weeks, and now it was finally here. Drew Kane was about to walk through that door, and she was ready to ambush him. Nina had always been a woman of conviction, but lately, her convictions had led her down a dangerous path. Her feud with Carly Corinthos had consumed her, and she was willing to do whatever it took to come out on top. Drew, Carly's confidant and ally, was the key to unraveling everything. If she could get him to see things her way, to turn him against Carly, she might finally gain the upper hand. But Drew wasn't an easy man to manipulate. He was sharp, loyal, and fiercely protective of those he cared about. Nina knew this wouldn't be easy, but she was prepared to play dirty if she had to. The bell above the diner's door jingled, and Drew stepped inside. He looked tired, his usual confident demeanor slightly diminished by the weight of recent events. Nina straightened up, plastering a smile on her face as she waved him over. "Drew, over here," she called, her voice dripping with false warmth. Drew hesitated for a moment, his eyes narrowing as he took in the scene. He had been avoiding Nina for weeks, knowing full well that she had an agenda. But curiosity got the better of him, and he made his way to her booth. "Nina," he said curtly, sliding into the seat across from her. "What's this about? I'm a busy man." Nina leaned forward, her eyes locking onto his. "I know you are, Drew. That's why I'll get straight to the point. Carly is playing you. She's using you to further her own agenda. And if you're not careful, she's going to drag you down with her." Drew's jaw tightened, but he didn't respond immediately. He knew Carly could be manipulative, but he also knew she had a good heart. "Carly's my friend," he said finally. "I trust her. Why should I listen to you?" Nina's smile widened, but there was no warmth in it. "Because I have proof," she said, pulling a manila folder from her bag and sliding it across the table. "Proof that Carly has been lying to you, to everyone. She's not the person you think she is." Drew stared at the folder, his mind racing. He wanted to believe Carly, but Nina's confidence was unsettling. Slowly, he opened the folder and began to read. As his eyes scanned the documents, his expression darkened. This can't be real," he muttered. "Oh, it's real," Nina said, her voice low and steady. "Carly's been keeping secrets, Drew. Dangerous secrets. And if you don't act soon, you're going to be caught in the crossfire." Meanwhile, across town, Sonny Corinthos was meeting with an old enemy. The dimly lit backroom of a nondescript bar was the perfect setting for a clandestine conversation. Sonny sat at a small table, a glass of whiskey in front of him, his eyes fixed on the man across from him. Victor Cassadine. The name alone was enough to send a chill down Sonny's spine. Victor was a snake, a master manipulator who had caused more than his fair share of trouble in Port Charles. "Sonny," Victor said, his voice smooth and calculating. "It's been a while. I was starting to think you'd forgotten about me." Sonny's grip tightened around his glass. "I could never forget you, Victor. You've made sure of that. What do you want?" Victor leaned back in his chair, a smug smile playing on his lips. "I want what I've always wanted. Power. Control. And you, Sonny, are standing in my way." Sonny's eyes narrowed. "If you think I'm just going to step aside, you're sorely mistaken. I've dealt with your kind before, and I'll deal with you too." Victor's smile didn't waver. "Oh, I'm counting on it. But let me give you a little warning, Sonny. This time it's different. This time I've got something you care about. Something you'll do anything to protect." Sonny's heart skipped a beat. "What are you talking about?" Victor leaned forward, his voice dropping to a whisper. "Your family, Sonny. Your precious Carly, your children. They're all fair game. And if you don't play by my rules, they're going to pay the price." Sonny's blood ran cold. He had always known Victor was dangerous, but this was a new low. "You touch my family and I'll kill you," he growled. Victor chuckled, clearly enjoying Sonny's reaction. "Oh, Sonny, you can try. But we both know how this ends. You're going to lose. And when you do, I'll be there to pick up the pieces." Back at Kelly's diner, Carly Corinthos was sitting at the counter, her mind a whirlwind of emotions. She had just received a call from Jocelyn, her daughter, and the news had left her rattled. Jocelyn had been spending more and more time with Brennan, a mysterious newcomer to Port Charles. At first, Carly had thought nothing of it. Jocelyn was young, free-spirited, and entitled to her own life. But something about Brennan didn't sit right with her. He was charming, yes, but there was an edge to him, a darkness that Carly couldn't ignore. "Carly, you're overreacting," Jocelyn had said during their call. "Brennan's a good guy. You just need to give him a chance." But Carly wasn't so sure. She had seen too much in her life to take things at face value. And now, as she sat in the diner, her thoughts kept drifting back to Brennan. Who was he really? And what did he want with her daughter? Her thoughts were interrupted by the sound of someone sliding into the seat next to her. She looked up to see Drew, his expression grim. "Drew," she said, forcing a smile. "What's wrong? You look like you've seen a ghost." Drew didn't return her smile. Instead, he placed the manila folder on the counter in front of her. "We need to talk," he said, his voice heavy with emotion. Carly's heart sank as she opened the folder and began to read. The documents inside were damning, revealing secrets she had worked so hard to keep buried. "Drew, I can explain," she said, her voice trembling. "Can you?" Drew asked, his eyes filled with disappointment. "Because from where I'm standing, it looks like you've been lying to me this whole time." Carly felt tears prick at the corners of her eyes. "I didn't want to hurt you," she said. "I was trying to protect you." "Protect me?" Drew scoffed. "By keeping me in the dark? By letting me believe in a lie? That's not protection, Carly. That's betrayal." Carly reached out to him, but he pulled away. "Drew, please," she begged. "You have to understand. I did what I thought was best." Drew stood up, his expression cold. "I don't know what to believe anymore, Carly. But one thing's for sure. Things between us? They're never going to be the same." As Drew walked away, Carly felt a wave of despair wash over her. She had always prided herself on being strong, on being able to handle whatever life threw at her. But now, for the first time in a long time, she felt truly lost. Meanwhile, Jocelyn was sitting in the park with Brennan, oblivious to the storm brewing around her. She laughed as Brennan told her a story, his eyes sparkling with mischief. "You're amazing, you know that?" she said, leaning into him. "Drew refuses to be Jason's alibi, lies to get brother arrested?" Family dynamics are often fraught with tension, betrayal, and complex emotions. When loyalty is tested and personal interests clash, the bonds of kinship can unravel in unexpected ways. The scenario of Drew refusing to be Jason's alibi, and potentially lying to get his brother arrested, is a dramatic exploration of these themes. It raises questions about morality, justice, and the lengths to which someone might go to protect themselves or achieve their own goals, even at the expense of a sibling. The context: a crime and a missing alibi. To fully understand the gravity of Drew's decision, we must first establish the context. Jason, Drew's brother, is accused of a serious crime, perhaps a robbery, assault, or even something more severe like murder. The evidence against Jason is circumstantial but compelling enough to put him in a precarious position. Jason claims he was with Drew at the time of the crime, making Drew his only alibi. However, when questioned by the authorities, Drew refuses to corroborate Jason's story. Worse yet, there are hints that Drew may have actively lied to ensure Jason's arrest. This situation immediately sets the stage for a moral dilemma. On one hand, Drew has a familial obligation to support his brother, especially if Jason is innocent. On the other hand, Drew's refusal to be an alibi suggests that he either knows something incriminating about Jason, or has his own reasons for wanting Jason out of the picture. The possibility that Drew lied to get his brother arrested adds another layer of complexity, as it implies a deliberate act of betrayal. Drew's motivations. Why would he betray his brother? Understanding Drew's motivations is key to unraveling this story. There are several possible reasons why Drew might refuse to be Jason's alibi, and even lie to get him arrested. Personal grudges or sibling rivalry. Sibling relationships are often complicated, marked by competition, jealousy, and unresolved conflicts. Drew and Jason may have a history of animosity, with Drew harboring resentment toward his brother for past grievances. Perhaps Jason has always been the favored child, or maybe he has wronged Drew in some way, financially, emotionally, or otherwise. Drew's refusal to help Jason could be an act of revenge, a way to finally gain the upper hand in their relationship. Self-preservation. Drew might be protecting himself. If Jason's alleged crime is connected to illegal activities that Drew is also involved in, providing an alibi could draw unwanted attention to Drew. By distancing himself from Jason, Drew ensures that he doesn't become implicated in the crime. In this scenario, Drew's actions are driven by fear and a desire to avoid legal consequences. Moral or ethical concerns. It's possible that Drew believes Jason is guilty and that providing an alibi would be morally wrong. If Drew has evidence or strong suspicions that Jason committed the crime, he might feel compelled to let the justice system take its course. However, this explanation becomes more complicated if Drew actively lies to get Jason arrested, as it suggests a more calculated and less altruistic motive. External pressure or manipulation. Drew could be acting under duress. Someone else, a rival, a criminal organization, or even law enforcement, might be pressuring Drew to ensure Jason's arrest. In this case, Drew's actions are not entirely his own, but are influenced by external forces that leave him with no good options. A desire for justice or closure. If Jason has a history of criminal behavior or has caused harm to others, Drew might see his arrest as a necessary step toward justice. This could be especially true if Jason's actions have directly affected Drew, or someone he cares about. In this scenario, Drew's decision is driven by a sense of duty to the greater good, even if it means sacrificing his brother. The consequences of Drew's decision. Drew's refusal to be Jason's alibi and his potential lies have far-reaching consequences, both for himself and for those around him. These consequences can be explored on multiple levels. Legal consequences for Jason. Without Drew's alibi, Jason's defense is significantly weakened. The lack of a credible witness to corroborate his whereabouts at the time of the crime could lead to his arrest, trial, and potential conviction. If Drew lied to ensure Jason's arrest, the situation becomes even more dire, as false testimony could seal Jason's fate. Strained family relationships. Drew's actions are likely to cause irreparable damage to his relationship with Jason and other family members. If Jason is innocent, Drew's betrayal will be seen as unforgivable. Even if Jason is guilty, other family members might view Drew's refusal to help as a violation of familial loyalty. The resulting rift could tear the family apart, leading to long-term estrangement and emotional pain. Drew's internal conflict. Regardless of his motivations, Drew is likely to experience significant internal conflict. If he acted out of self-preservation or revenge, he might struggle with guilt and regret. If he acted out of a sense of justice, he might still grapple with the moral implications of betraying his brother. This internal turmoil could affect Drew's mental health and relationships with others. Social and community repercussions. The broader community might also react to Drew's actions. If the crime Jason is accused of is high-profile or particularly heinous, Drew's refusal to help could make him a pariah. People might view him as cold-hearted or untrustworthy, damaging his reputation and social standing. Potential legal consequences for Drew. If it comes to light that Drew lied to get Jason arrested, he could face legal consequences of his own. Perjury, obstruction of justice, and other charges could be brought against him, further complicating the situation. Exploring the moral gray areas. One of the most compelling aspects of this scenario is its exploration of moral gray areas. Drew's decision is not easily categorized as right or wrong. It exists in a space where competing values and priorities clash. On one hand, there is the value of loyalty to family, which dictates that Drew should stand by his brother. On the other hand, there is the value of justice, which might require Drew to prioritize the truth over familial ties. This tension raises important questions. Is it ever justified to betray a family member? How far should one go to protect themselves or others? What happens when personal ethics conflict with societal expectations? These questions make the story not only dramatic but also thought-provoking, inviting readers to consider what they would do in a similar situation. The role of truth and deception. At the heart of this scenario is the theme of truth and deception. Drew's refusal to be Jason's alibi is in itself a form of deception, a withholding of the truth that could exonerate his brother. If Drew goes a step further and actively lies to get Jason arrested, the deception becomes even more egregious. This raises questions about the nature of truth and the consequences of lying. Is Drew's deception justified if it serves a greater purpose, such as protecting himself or ensuring justice is served? Or is lying always wrong regardless of the circumstances? These questions highlight the complexity of human behavior and the difficult choices people face when their values are put to the test.